What's up, guys? Johnny here, and welcome back to another Sorare video. It's nice to have you guys back. It's nice to be back on the Sorare channel as well and getting involved into the mess that is Sorare. Guys, it's been quite interesting lately. I've had lineups that could have won in previous game weeks. I mean, if we just base it off the players that we have, like this game week specifically, you guys can see what has happened here for me. I missed out on a reward by 50 points only, and I had 0 decisives. So that is quite interesting to see. I brought in Anthony Morris as an option for the future of our club. I wanted a safe goalkeeper that I can really rely on, and I brought him in from Union Saint-Galoise. He is going to be the guy that is going to be used in the All-Star team or the Challenger Europe Rare based on where I want to put him into. So he's going to be an extra goalkeeper away from the under-23s that we have in the club. That opens up another midweek utility for us because he is playing for a team that plays midweeks in Europe at the moment and had done really well up until this game against Braga where they struggled. And I think they're on 10 points though at the moment. I might be mistaken, but I think Union is doing really well. But as always, Soleil came in with a good score. Kökçü did his best. We had Xavi Simons, who got subbed off after 45 minutes, which was a huge shame. He was having a great game. PSV have won 5-0, but I really like the look of Xavi Simons the more we move forward. So, yeah, that's something to think of. And then also Jens Odgaard is a big player that got benched. That is just my luck at the moment. And in the throwaway training squad that I have gone for, obviously, Muric did not have a game. Sildilia actually did not play, which was surprising to see. Apparently, they might be resting him for the weekend, which is, I don't know. I didn't see that coming. Enzo Fernandez, who has done somewhat well against PSG. Good to see that he can get that type of a score against a team like that. And then Szymanski actually got 80.5. So, yeah, if I had Szymanski in the team up here, we probably would have done a little bit better, but I don't think it would have been enough for us to get anything in terms of a reward. So again, another game week where things haven't necessarily come together. Saliba did play all of a sudden against Bodo Glimt. No one expected that to happen. But if we go back to like game week 312, in another game week where we haven't won, if we just look at the players here, we have Enzo Fernandez, 99.1, Kökçü, 89.9, Palacios, 88.2, Harvard Bellis, 79.3, Xavi Simons, 76.1, 72 from Tayyip Sanuc. Like, we have the players that could have won rewards if I put the teams together. And this is the thing that I want to have as a bare minimum. If I have a gallery of under 23 specific, I want that by the end of the game week, I could have, technically, I could have put together a team that would have won rewards. That's always something that I want to see in my gallery. If I don't see that, I'll lose faith. But at the moment, as things are going, every single game week so far, potentially, if we got a little bit more lucky with the lineup building, we would have gotten ourselves a reward. So I really like that perspective. So I'm okay with that because that also at the same time means that a lot of the players don't necessarily lose value. So as I said, I did bring in Anthony Morris into the team for 1.15 ETH. I also went ahead and got myself another under-23 goalkeeper, and this one is very special because we can pair him up with Tayyip Sanuc, who has done extremely well for Beşiktaş right now and has strengthened their defense massively. So Destanoglu will be profiting off of that as well. So we now have an under-23 defensive stack with Beşiktaş and also with Burnley, which I'm really excited about. And then we obviously have the other goalkeepers where I still hope that Kavlina will come into the starting lineup for the next game. If we go into the projected lineups right here, and we go into Croatia, we can see if Kavlina is expected to play or not. He plays for Lokomotiva Zagreb, as we all know. And he's expected to start for 60%. So I'm just hoping that he starts again. That would make me very happy to have another under-23 goalkeeper still eligible to play for us. And in the forward position, I've gone for someone that I've wanted for a month now. Before he actually started getting these scores, I was interested in Zian Fleming around September. And around that time, he sold for 554. And despite his good performances, he has only recovered now to that price range. So I'm very happy to buy him at 544. He is seeming to be a very big player. I personally really like him as an option because he is a player that has multiple games. Every single game week, it seems like he has a game. So he has 314, 315, 316. Then you have 319 there as well. Like, he has those midweeks where I can utilize him as well, which could be quite huge. So I really like the fact that he's here. And then in the previous 2 games, or the previous 4 games, I should say, he has gotten 4 decisive. So I really like the look of Zion Fleming at the moment. He seems to be taking set pieces as well, which makes him even more important. Gives me some Carlson vibes from AZ Alkmaar. Obviously not at that high level, but I'm really excited to have him in here. But those are the new players that I have brought in for now. So let's dive into the lineup building portion of this video. So in the under 23 region, guys, in the star rare pool, we have some absolutely insane players now. Musiala has pushed up into the top 5, which is lovely to see. Someone like Cody Gakpo is not even in there, which is interesting. So SO5 performance isn't as important as the name of the player, as you can clearly tell there, sometimes at least. But we have some really, really good players in there, of course. Very, very expensive players. Benjamin Šeško is still in there in the star rare pool, but what I've seen there is that you have 13 star rares. Last time I made it into the star rare pool, it was only up to 12, so that's quite interesting to see. But yeah, in the under 23s, we have many options, and you guys, as always, have done the lineups, which I absolutely love seeing. Thank you guys, as always, for going in there and doing these lineups for me. It really, really does mean a lot. So when we go through this, I have an issue now. Because everyone has picked Mace Hilgers, and Hilgers is only 65% expected to play. Apparently, he had some fitness issues, and if you do go back into his previous game, he was subbed off after like 45 minutes during the Feyenoord matchup. I still remember that. So they have a great matchup against Groningen, but at the same time, it is a bit risky if he plays or not. So this kind of throws my under 23 Rare Pro thoughts into like a weird mess, right? Like if we would go super rare, do I even have a starting lineup? Let me just see. I'm just going to double check if I could actually put together a team of super rare players. I mean, technically I could, right? Technically I could go like this, but Bayern against Freiburg, there's no way Sildilia gets any points. So that makes no sense too, just to have like a punty super rare lineup. So I'm assuming this puts me into a spot where I'm really struggling with the super rare specifically, because if you look into the Turkish division as well, and we go over to the likes of Beşiktaş, if I can ever find them. Where the hell is Beşiktaş? Oh, there it is. I'm nearly blind, it seems. So Sanic is expected to play. Destanolu is expected to play. Getson only 70%. And Muleka is not in. And Muleka is only 30% at the moment. And he didn't even get subbed on for the last game. But what I've seen in the last few days, Muleka has had a lot of presence on Beşiktaş social media. So I don't know, but he might get some playtime in this big game. And it might be off the bench even. And it, again, puts me into a spot where under 23 Rare Pro might just have to be a punty one, where I literally just put in question marks into this, which sucks. But it seems to be what I have to do right now. And I really, really dislike the fact that I have to do this. But yeah, Kavlina as well is 60% expected to start. I really hope he comes back into the starting lineup. That'd be great. But for this matchup, I think it just makes sense to go Destanolu, Hilgers. We go with the likes of question marks, right? I want to go question marks. Who would be a question mark? I guess Kökçü would be in a tough matchup against AZ Alkmaar away from home. I think that would be a tough one, but he still has some good upside to him. I think I'm going Kökçü on this one. And then, again, I want to go question marks on nearly every player. This is the punty lineup, sadly. It sadly has to turn into the punty one, which really sucks because I would have much preferred to put a really good lineup in here. And then for the attacking option, I don't even know. Like, I already have Muleka in there, of course, which is a big punt. But it doesn't have to be an attacking option, of course. It can be any. I think I want to go Odgaard, but then again, I need him for a different team, possibly. I need my attackers for the other teams. So, who would I put in here? On a 23 Rare Pro. I think since we have the goalkeeper, Ersin, here, let's go over with the defender as well and just have that defensive stack in there. I'll captain Sanuc. It will have to sadly turn into a punty one because I want to have like a safer option somewhere else. Actually, having said that, I'm just realizing Muric is a punty one too, because Muric did not play the last game, and we just don't know if he's going to play again. He's 50%. Oh, Ersin, come out of here. We're going to have to go full on punt. Yep, this is just a full-on punt. I don't know if Mudic's going to play. I don't know if Hilger's going to play. Taylor Harwood Bellis obviously will play. Orkun Kökçü is a question mark if he's going to do well against a team like AZ away from home. Muleka, we don't know if he's going to play. I think it just makes a lot of sense to go with that there. It's painful, but it just makes sense. And then under 23 rare, I want to go with the safer options here. So Destanolu comes in. I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet. So I want to pair him up with defenders that will do better. Because Sanuc, as much as I like him, I can only see him get like a 50-point game. Because Trabzon seemed very good this midweek. Saliba goes into this. He's going to be my captain. 11.5 percentage bonus on him against Leeds United. He's going to be huge. Xavi Simons got rested after 45 minutes against Zurich. So that is a sign that he's going to be played and is planned to play. Then we have Zion Fleming, who I just brought in. He is going to be big for us, a guaranteed starter. And then the question is in between Daida Guindo or Solé. Now, Guindo, if we go into like expected scores as well on Play Sharper, if we go here, St. Gallen, Guindo has a 59 expected score, 90%. Obviously, don't read too much into the expected score, but he just does well. He seems fixture proof. It doesn't matter who he plays against. But they're up against Lugano, who are 7th. They are personally in that 3rd position. The odds are in the favor of St. Gallen. They're expected to score nearly 2 goals. So, yeah, clean sheet percentage is quite nice as well. But when we go over to Austria, right, if we go over here, considering that players like Solé don't have a midweek game coming up, I personally expect Salzburg to play the best team possible, right? So they have 3-14 and then 3-15. There's nothing. This kind of shows me that I should be playing Solé, right? He should be in the starting lineup. He's up against Austria Wien away from home. And he is 70% at the moment. So that's quite interesting. Šeško is also only 45% to be playing. So that also kind of sucks. A big question mark over him. But Solé, if anything, he is the guy that I really should go for. And I personally think he is going to be playing. Even though I have a nice percentage on Guindo, I'm going to go with Solé here. So we're going to captain the likes of Saliba. Or actually, I'm going to go Xavi Simons. Does Simons have a game midweek? Let me see. Xavi Simons, do you have a game midweek? If he doesn't, he might actually play the full game finally. No, he does have Arsenal coming up. Yikes. Oof. He might get subbed off after 45 or 50 or 60 because Luke de Jong is back in training as well. Do I captain him? He's going to do well. I think he's going to do well. I'm going to go Saliba. I think he gets 90 minutes and he could get a clean sheet against Leeds. And even if he doesn't, he does get like 60 plus a lot of times. So do I captain Solé? I'm captaining Solé. I'm going Solé. Forget about it. If he plays full 90. Anyways, so we go with Solé there. And we have a little bit of a safer lineup. And then Challenger Europe Rare. I think we have a good option here as well with Anthony Morris, the new goalkeeper. Guindo goes into this. Nakamura, Lask against Klagenfurt. I think he's going to do well. And he's somewhat guaranteed to play as well, if I'm not mistaken. So let me double check here in Austria again. We have Lask and we have Nakamura in there 90%. So that's good to see. So Nakamura goes into this. Lask have to turn things around. Their last 2 games have been horrible. And then in the attack, I think based on Play Sharper and based on what they have done this midweek, they have rested Odegaard. And that's a bit worrying. But then again, maybe that means he plays 90% on Odegaard along with Jesper Karlsson. I think AZ could do some damage. And I'm going to go Odegaard here. And then in the extra position, I think it makes a lot of sense for me to consider to have an underdog rare team as well. An underdog rare team would actually consist of Sanuc. It would consist of Šeško, Szymanski, and Spikic. So those would be the 4 players I can put in there. So that means in between Getson or Muleka, who do I think is going to get better points? I think Getson could get a 50 plus, but it's a tough game. It's not necessarily an easy game. But I do want that underdog opportunity too. Let me see if Spikic is expected to play. Let's go over to Croatia real quick. Let's see Dinamo Zagreb. Spikic, are you expected to play 70%? I like that. I like that a lot because they have very good odds here. Spikic could actually be a really good choice, generally speaking. Apparently, it seems like... Where's Orsic? Why is Orsic not in here? Interesting to see that Orsic is not in here. He might be injured then. I'm not too sure on what happened with Orsic, but yeah, Spikic seems to be a really good option, and I want to go underdog too. I'm going to go Getson. Getson is not a bad player. I'm going to captain Gindo here. I think he's going to be the one that I can bank on the most. And then in the underdog competition, we're going to go punty and we're going to try our best. Obviously, can put Kavlina in here just to get some extra points, ideally. Sanuc goes into this. Szymanski goes into this. Sheshko goes into this. And Spikic. And then I would... Wow. Oh, is it max 4 rare? Oh, okay. All right, then. I thought I could have a decent training team there. Let's just put in anyone, right? It doesn't matter who I pick here. Let's go for Morris again. Why not? And then the captaincy choice is the most important thing. I'm going to go Spikic. I think he could do really well in that matchup. And he did really well midweek as well, getting 54 points in like 60 minutes. I'm going to go Spikic on this. So, these are my lineups, guys. Under 23 Rare Pro, Punty AF. Sadly, under 23 Rare, we're going with the safer options, players that I can bank on playing, and hopefully we can pick up a decent reward there. That would make me very, very happy. Rare Challenger Europe, we're going with a decent lineup with somewhat tough matchups for certain players like Odgaard and also Getson Fernandez, but I think it's the right choice to make there. And then Underdog Rare, we're going to put in these boys. What is the price pool for Underdog Rare? Star Rares go onto the 3rd position. Tier 1 Rare, 30th. Tier 2, 80. And then you have Tier 3 Limiteds and all that stuff there as well. But I'm going to go with that lineup. I'm hopeful that things work out for me. It would be extremely painful to see this team have a couple of really, really high scorers that I could have put somewhere else. But... at the end of the day, man, I got to make my decisions, and I think this makes a lot of sense. Like, based on your guys' lineup building here, again, huge shout out to every single person out there that has done these lineups. I really, really do appreciate you guys. It's very helpful in my thought process, but as I said, under 23 Rare Pro, I would have ideally liked to go Destanolu, Hilgers, then in midfield, Nunez, and then I would have ideally had the likes of... what's his name? Zion Fleming in here, along with those super rares. So that was my initial plan, but that kind of got broke up. Under 23 Rare, you guys have put the teams together as well. Muric is in there, along with Taylor Harvard-Bellis with that defensive stack, of course. Simmons is in there, and we also have Jens Odgaard being put into that, as we can tell. But I personally I just have to go safer. Enzo Fernandez doesn't have a game, so a big player is missing here. Would have ideally used him, but that's the current situation. And I might buy a couple more players. If I do buy players, the lineups could change, just a heads up. But this is the current situation. A couple of hours, 2 hours before the deadline. I think this just makes a lot of sense to go a bit safer rather than constantly risking it and getting disappointed when spreading those risks throughout multiple teams. I think the under 23 Rare lineup is my priority one this time around, and I think it has the most chance of doing well. So I'm desperately hoping it does. Guys, that is me done for today for the Sorare lineups. Let's go over to Sorare Mega. Now, here, I can actually put together what I believe could genuinely be my best lineup. I would go Anthony Morris. I would go Solé. I would like to have 2 defenders, ideally. Right? No, what is it? 2-1-1? Yeah, there we go. 2 defenders, Saliba, Solé. And then in midfield, I would pick Xavi Simmons. And in the attack, I would go for... why do I feel like Spikic has a better chance? I feel like Spikic could do better than Zion Fleming. He just has the better matchup. You know what? I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to go Spikic. And then I'm going to go Captain Solé. Yep, that's the one. Could I change it here too? Like, could Fleming play in the underdog? Is that something he could do? Let me see. Yes, he could. L15 of 50. Ooh. Do I put Spikic into this lineup? Fleming is on form, though. He's scoring. No, I think I'm going to base it off form here, too. I think I'm going to stick with him there. But here, I'm just going to throw Spikic in. Let's see how it goes. And then in the Mega 8, I want to play Mega 8 because I don't think I can compete in Mega 3. People have the most insane players. Mega 3, we're going to go with... Mega 8, sorry. We're going to go with Taylor Harvard, Bellis, Muric, Gindo in midfield. I think it makes a lot of sense to go for... I think I'm going to go Kukchu. Ideally, I don't want to go too many midfielders. I'm just going to go attack heavy and just hope everyone bangs. Nakamura goes into this. And then Fleming, Odegaard. Why not? Muleka, Sheshko. I think Muleka will score off the bench. I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to captain Gindo. Why not? Let's confirm that. Those are the lineups so far. And then we have one more. Hello, please. Thank you. And then we're going to have a throwaway one with some of the questionable players as well. Let's go with Sanoch. Let's go with... I'm thinking... Let's put Sheshko in there. Why not? I'm going to captain Hilgers. All right. Those are my lineups, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I am looking at certain players to pick up, so they might change. Just a heads up to you. But I appreciate you guys a lot. I appreciate you being here and helping me out, as always, with the lineups that you guys put together. It really means a lot, but obviously you can't foresee these issues with the likes of Hilgers and all these other guys potentially not playing. So, yeah, those lineups sadly couldn't have the effect they were meant to bring in. But we have 4 lineups, which is something I haven't had in a long time, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care and peace.